Bienvenue à Vox Terra. A viewer asked me if I could do a video about these devastating floods in Kentucky and tie it back to climate change, because we all know the media is barely doing that. But I'm overwhelmed. It's not just Kentucky. These floods are everywhere. And it was last summer too. And not just the floods, but all this devastating extreme weather we're now experiencing with our hotter planet. So let's start off and just check out a couple of summer's recent headlines. From the AP, Appalachian flooding, death set to climb, more rain forecast. July 29th, 2022. Trapped homeowners swam to safety and others were rescued by boat as record flash flooding killed at least 16 people in Kentucky and swamped entire Appalachian towns, prompting a frenzied search for survivors Friday through some of the poorest communities in America. And remember, next Kentucky's getting blasted with extreme heat. And they've also gotten tornadoes, which didn't used to be happening there that commonly. From floodlist.com, severe flash floods in Missouri after record rainfall. Note that, record rainfall. And even the American West is ricocheting from dry drought conditions and wildfires to floods. AP, Southwest rains flood deserts, cascade into Vegas casinos. Record floods strand 1,000 people in Death Valley National Park, August 5th, 2022. Well, you know what I think why the media is rarely tying this stuff back to climate change. It's the influence of that fossil fuel petrochemical industry. And then you got news outlets like Fox that are according to Public Citizen, are actually still promoting people who are denying climate change. Now, besides those fossil fuel connections to the media, you just got the fact that science operates on probability. So from NASA, this Earth is now about 2 Fahrenheit hotter since the era of fossil fuel burning began, but they now cite it as 1.01 Celsius, which I wish they left it as Fahrenheit, because I think a lot of us Americans really have a hard time thinking in terms of Celsius. I've cited for you before, NOAA says we're putting about, we as in the whole planet here, putting about 40 billion tons of fossil fuels in the atmosphere each year, known heat-trapping gases. And then citing Union of Concerned Scientists, that hotter atmosphere, it's just clinging on, it's holding more moisture, it's pulling more out of the soils. The result is a higher likelihood of these extreme rains. It's just going to dump them more. And that is what is happening. Scientific American, citing NOAA, says the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere has increased. Also citing the EPA, in recent years, a larger percentage of precipitation has come in the form of intense single-day events. 9 out of the top 10 years of extreme one-day precipitation have all occurred since 1996. But remember, a lot of these scary-sounding reports are actually scarier than they sound, because they're just telling you, hey, this is extreme, this is beyond normal. But extreme and beyond normal is calculated on what's the average is. And NOAA, I've shown you, calculates their average temperatures and that kind of thing based on 30-year time spans. So we're now in a 30-year time span that's typically hotter and more extreme than 30 years ago, and then 30 years before that. Now, another cause of flooding is poor environmental stewardship in terms of land use planning. Everything paved and not having those nice, beautiful, natural buffers, well, that means there's less place for those heavy waters to go and be absorbed into. So back to Union of Concerned Scientists, they advise, well, restoring floodplains, those natural areas to absorb that flood water, as well as cutting back on these greenhouse gases. And remember, those natural areas that should be restored and intermingled throughout our habitats, they not only will absorb those floodwaters, they're also going to absorb some of that carbon we're putting in the atmosphere by all this fossil fuel burning. And if you want to be one of those people who believe that's somehow not true, well, you know they're absorbing other pollutants and just generally making that air cleaner for you. Well, hey, I hope you found this video super helpful, useful, interesting. And if you did, please make sure you're subscribed to my channel. You're clicking that notification bell so you know when I'm putting up a new video. You're liking, you're commenting. Constructive criticism, sincere is welcome. You're becoming a patron at Patreon. Thank you. Bella Lagrissi, thank you, Environmental Coffee House. And until next time, and as always, peace be with you.